Good morning and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. I hope everyone is doing well on this Tuesday morning. We're back with another massive show to bring you guys today. But before we jump into that, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're only a couple of subscribers away from 21,000, so please do subscribe if you haven't already. Help us reach that next milestone. On the show today, we're going to be talking a bit about Jean-Clair Todibo and a potential blow for Manchester United with Tottenham now entering the race for the French international. We'll also be talking about a new contract for Rafael Varane, and we'll talk about a story that came out last night from Fabrizio Romano saying that Manchester United are looking to sign 3 players in the January transfer window. Of course, we will be breaking that down for you. As always, I invite you to have your say on all things Manchester United in the comment section below. I love to see what you guys are thinking about everything, around the club at the moment. So get in the comment section. If there's any particular topics you want to talk about as well, get them in the comment section. I'll have a look before the next video and then I'll bring them into the show. So if you want to talk about, the manager, if you want to talk about what you think is going to happen under Jim Ratcliffe, maybe you haven't, a topic that you want to talk about, let me know in the comment section and I will try and include it in one of the next shows. Right, let's start off with this story about Rafael Varane then. Now, I've had a couple of comments actually since yesterday of people from last night's video saying that, last week I was saying Varane should go and now I'm saying he should stay. So let me just clarify what my position is on Rafael Varane. A week ago, Rafael Varane hadn't started a game for about 3 months. A week ago, Rafael Varane was getting dropped in the Manchester derby over Johnny Evans. A week ago, Rafael Varane was getting maybe 5 minutes off the bench once a month. A week ago, Luke Shaw was getting picked over Rafael Varane. Do I need to continue? So when I said a week ago that Rafael Varane should be sold, my point was this. You can't have a player for £340,000 per week, that's how much he earns, sat on the bench, not getting picked, with Johnny Evans getting picked over him and Luke Shaw getting picked over him, who's not even a centre-back. That was my position on him. Okay, I never doubted Rafael Varane's quality. He's our best centre-back, without a shadow of a doubt. I think it's pretty hard to argue with that. He is our best centre-back. But for whatever reason, Erik ten Hag wasn't picking him. And you have to back the manager. Erik ten Hag is our manager. He achieved 3rd last season, won us our first trophy in 6 years, and is trying to change something at the club. Now, the only thing I can think of is that him and Varane had some kind of dispute of some sort. Maybe Varane wasn't happy with the amount of training they were doing. We know that there's people coming out saying that, some of the players feel like they're being overworked in training. We know that Varane dropped out of international football at the age of 30 because he couldn't handle the games. We don't know the ins and outs of the story, okay? But my position was this. 1 week ago, Rafael Varane was completely out of the project. And every journalist in the UK was saying that he was going to leave or that he was thinking of leaving. And my position was, well, if that's the case, let him go, sell him. Because you probably could get 30 to 50 million pounds there to a Saudi club. You're saving 340 grand a week in wages. And if Erik ten Hag doesn't want to play him for whatever reason, then you have to support that. That was my position. But after seeing him play against Liverpool on the weekend, I think he'll be the first name on the team sheet going forward. And I think that I'm happy about that. And I wouldn't now sell him. Because if he can stay fit, we're only playing 1 game a week. And if him and Erik ten Hag have made up, they've become friends again, whatever you want to call it, then he should stay. So I hope that people can understand the difference here. Opinions can change. You base an opinion on the circumstances. Okay? It's like us saying, some people in the fan base want Marcus Rashford to be sold. Imagine Rashford scores 20 goals in the rest of the season. Are you still going to be like, get Rashford out of the club? Probably not. Opinions can change. And a week ago, I thought the best thing would be to get rid of Varane. That was the best thing for everybody in this fan base, for the club. If he's not going to get picked, the best thing for Varane to do would be to leave. He starts him in the Liverpool game alongside Johnny Evans. Yes, that was because of injuries, but going forward, I think you will see Varane starting, and it will be Varane and Maguire. That would be my expectation, or it could even be Varane and Johnny Evans. I mean, they did very, very well against Liverpool. So for me, I 100% keep him now. But a week ago, I would have sold him because Erik ten Hag hadn't played him for 3 months. There's a big difference there. So I hope everyone who was commenting saying you've changed your mind. I mean, I haven't changed my mind. Erik ten Hag's changed his mind, and that's now affected my decision on what I think Varane whether Varane has a place at Manchester United or not. So that I just wanted to clear that up. But the story this morning is that Manchester United are apparently going to give Varane a 1-year contract extension. So, okay, I'm quite happy about it. I am. I think it's good. I think it makes sense. 30 years of age. He's a good player. As far as I'm aware, he is the best player that we have in that position. Joel says, do you find it funny how Varane is now back, but also Martinez is due back soon? Maybe Varane wasn't fully fit. We know his injury record is pitiful. Yeah, the thing is, right, at the end of the day, we're all just football fans. We don't know the ins and outs of what's going on at Manchester United, and you can only base your decision on the little drips and drops of information we get. And those little drips and drops of information might not even be correct. So it's very, very difficult to formulate an opinion when you're just ultimately, I wouldn't say guessing, but we don't know exactly what's happened with Varane, do we? Maybe it will come out. We know that he was supposedly upset that, he was dropped against Man City and Johnny Evans played ahead of him. Malk says Varane is injury prone. Mate, I would agree with you that Varane is injury prone, and I have said that on the show before. But what I have said is this, right? I don't think Varane can play 2 games a week. I 100% stick by that. He can't. He can't play Champions League in the week and Premier League on the weekend. Whereas now that we're only playing 1 game a week, I think Varane's an important player to have around the team, because I think he can definitely play 1 game a week. 100%. He can 100% play 1 game a week. Midas says, Kieran, do you think we will get Jim Ratcliffe in this transfer window? Even the 25% has become a joke with the Glazers. Mate, I literally do not know what's going on with this takeover. I really do. I mean, it's not even a takeover, is it? This investment, whatever you want to call it. It was meant to be months ago. It hasn't happened. It was meant to be this week. It hasn't happened. The same story just comes out every single week saying that, it's going to be this week. It'll be before Christmas. This, that, and the other. I don't really know, to be honest. But what I will say is this. From what my understanding is, it's business as normal. They are still trying to get things done. There will still be people leaving and people being signed. And one of those players is Jean-Clair Todibo, who we're going to talk about in a minute. Now, the thing with Jean-Clair Todibo is this, right? He is, I would say, the number 1 target for Manchester United in the centre-back position. He's the player that most of the fan base want, I would say. But what's being reported this morning is that apparently Tottenham are now in talks to sign Jean-Clair Todibo. Obviously, they had a couple of injuries, don't they? I think it's Van der Ven got injured. Romero, I think, was injured as well. Anyway, they've got some problems at centre-back. And the thing with Tottenham is, right, their first team is very, very solid, I think. They've got Van der Ven, Maddison, Romero. They've got a good starting 11 now. But their backups are really, really poor. If one of those two gets injured, it's Eric Dyer who starts, who, let's be honest, is not good enough to play for Tottenham or to play for any team in the top half of the table, I don't think. So I'll be honest with you now. I have a feeling that he's going to go to Tottenham, because I think that Tottenham will be able to pay the money that Nice want. I think that Tottenham have the money to be able to do it in January. I think the Tottenham project at the moment is probably a better proposition for Todibo. At this moment in time, I think it is probably, just because of he'll definitely be a first-team starter or will be up there. Whereas, with Erik ten Hag, you never really know what he's going to do. You might sign Todibo and then carry on playing Johnny Evans. No one really knows. And I think players like Todibo will be looking at Manchester United and thinking, am I even going to start? I mean, what happens when Varane and Martinez are fit? Is Todibo really going to be playing? Probably not. Especially if you've then got Maguire, Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire. I mean, that would be, 5 or 6 centre-backs? That's quite a lot, isn't it? I think it's a bit of a difficult one. But apparently, Jean-Clair Todibo wants to join a rejuvenated Tottenham. Apparently, that's what's being reported this morning. And it says that Tottenham have now held talks over a move for Nice centre-back Jean-Clair Todibo. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with this one. It would be very, very disappointing. Another journalist coming out saying Man United target Jean-Clair Todibo is keen on a move to Tottenham. Okay. I'll say this, right? It will be a massive... It's just disappointing, isn't it? It is. Obviously, it hasn't happened yet, but I will be really, really disappointed if Todibo goes to Tottenham, because I do think he's probably the best 30 to 40 million pound centre back available at the moment. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section though. Al says, doesn't Jim Ratcliffe own Nice? Why doesn't he sell Todibo to us? The thing is, mate, he doesn't even own any of Manchester United yet. The transfer window opens in 10 days? Yeah, 10 days the transfer window opens. Do we really think that he's going to be in within 10 days? I don't think so. Apparently it takes 4 weeks for the Premier League to approve the deal of the new ownership, the new investment, whatever you want to call it. I mean, even if it got announced today, 4 weeks would be, let's have a look. 4 weeks would be like the end of January. Yeah, and as Malp says, I think the Manchester United pull has gone. I don't think it's gone completely because Manchester United can always offer money, but if we don't have Champions League football, I think it's going to be difficult to hand out these ridiculous contracts, which in some ways I think is good because I am a little bit sick of Manchester United giving out, 300, 400 grand, 350 grand a week contracts to people like Sancho, to people like, the fact that we gave Martial 250 grand a week just says it all for me. Yeah, but let me know what you guys think. How big of a miss would be Jean-Clair Todibo for United? Do you think we could maybe wait till the summer and just wait for someone like Antonio Silva? I would probably say yes, but the problem with that is Antonio Silva is going to cost you 100 million. That's his release clause. Benfica won't sell Antonio Silva for any less than that. So, yes, you could wait until the summer, but then you're having to pay 3 times the price than what you'd get Jean-Clair Todibo for. So, I think for me, players like Jean-Clair Todibo, people like Guirassy, people like Frimpong next season, all of these people have release clauses or are available for a reasonable amount of money. Obviously, Frimpong has a £40 million release clause in the summer. That should be a deal we're doing. Guirassy, £15 million in January release clause. That's something we should be doing. And we know that Todibo is available for about 30 to 35. Just look at it like that, right? You could get Frimpong, Todibo, and Guirassy for less than what Antonio Silva would cost. Just let that sink in for a minute. And these are the kind of deals that United need to be doing. They need to be getting 3 players for the price of 1, opposed to be spending £100 million on 1 player and thinking that it's going to miraculously change our form and we'll be winning the league after spending £100 million on 1 player. It doesn't work like that. We probably need, I would say, I think 5 world-class players, but we probably need 10 players, I reckon, to be anywhere near the kind of level that Manchester United are expected to be, fighting for leagues and stuff. We need, a right back, a centre back, probably another midfielder, a striker or 2 wingers, an attacking midfielder to rotate with Bruno. We need so many players in so many positions that spending 100 million on 1 person is just not really a good deal. Somebody says, do you think we'll get Werner? I don't know, mate, about Werner. It's gone quite quiet. I will talk about the story that Fabrizio Romano has been saying about 3 players this January. We'll go into that now and we can talk about Werner as well. So Fabrizio Romano has said that apparently Manchester United are looking for 3 players in the January transfer window. He says a centre-back, so that could obviously be Jean-Clair Todibo. He says a forward, who could be Guirassy or Timo Werner, and then also possibly a late loan deal. So I don't know really who the late loan deal could be. Potentially a midfielder. Depending on Mount's injury, depending on Eriksen's obviously back from injury, but he seems to be getting quite injured a lot at the moment. 3 players, I would agree with all of that. The forward, of course, could be someone who can play on the wing because we are obviously expecting Jadon Sancho to leave. Whether that's a loan, whether that's a permanent deal, we'll have to wait and see. But we do need to strengthen that area. We probably, from what I'm hearing this morning, will look to loan up Pellistri and Ahmad as well, which is maybe slightly disappointing. I would have liked to see Pellistri get some more game time, but to be honest, how old is Pellistri now? Is he still quite young? I know he was 18 when we signed him. He's 21. He's going to be 22 tomorrow, Pellistri. 22 is still young, isn't it? But it's not like he's a teenager anymore. It's not like, when you think Garnacho's 18 and he's starting now, and you've got Pellistri who's been here for 3 or 4 years and is 22. Is he going to make it at Manchester United? I'm not really sure, to be honest. I think the thing with Pellistri is, right, if you could get him a really, really good loan move, maybe to someone in the Premier League, I think it's a deal worth doing. But otherwise, yeah, he's been on loan quite a lot, hasn't he? He was on loan in La Liga at Alaves. I think that was the club he came from originally. Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, it looks like Pellistri and Amad Diallo will be loaned out. Fred says, do you think Jim Ratcliffe is the right way to go for this club? I would say that probably not, but it is what it is now. And I think that we just have to work with what we've got. And I don't think we can keep using poor ownership as an excuse, because we know we have the resources. We know we are a big football club. We have the fan base. We have the stadium. If somebody comes in and runs this club properly from a sporting side, I think we can be successful. I think the sporting side under the Glazers was going to struggle to become successful again. But I think, a fresh mind who really, really does want to push football, concentrating on the sporting side and not focusing on commercial, I think it can be successful, but I do think we are still at a disadvantage when you look at someone like Man City or Newcastle. But, if we get someone like Dan Ashworth as the director of football, like, I would be happy with that. I really, really would. Benny says Pellistri needs a run of games. I would agree with you, mate, but I just don't see it happening. Mida says if Pellistri and Diallo will be loaned out, who will sub Anthony? Well, what the story is saying this morning is that apparently we're going to try and sign a new winger, because obviously if Jadon Sancho goes, then we'll need to find a new winger, won't we? Andy says the right way to go would have been a full sale. I still think the Qatar in time may not be dead in the water. Yeah. I mean, you never know, do you, in football? Maybe Jim Ratcliffe wants to buy a bit of the club now, knowing that in a few years Qatar will come back. It's a possibility, isn't it? Stranger things have happened in football. Richie says Chris Wheeler, Manchester United can sign no one without sales, financial fair play and overspend in 2022. So 3 signings, no chance. Fair enough. I mean, Chris Wheeler's one journalist. Fabrizio Romano is saying that we're looking at 3 players. So at the end of the day, journalists say different things. We bring them to the show and we talk about it. So, I mean, who do you think's a more better journalist, Chris Wheeler or Fabrizio Romano? I mean, yeah, I would always say Fabrizio Romano is a more reliable journalist than Chris Wheeler, but obviously that's for you to decide. Joe says to me, we've got to start building the team around Mainu and Hojlund. We already have Amad, Mejbri and Pellistri. Yeah, I would agree with that, to be fair. I do think we need to start focusing on some of these youth players. And if they're not going to work at Manchester United, then we need to sell them and get some money for them. Obviously not Mainu or Hojlund, but, Amad, Pellistri, Mejbri, like, how many loan deals can we do? Do we keep loaning these players out? It's not like they're 17, 18 anymore. Pellistri's 22 now. I mean, how old's Amad? Amad did his loan last season. I'd be a little bit disappointed if Amad went out on loan, to be honest. I think Pellistri, it makes sense. He's never had a loan like that. He's only ever been loaned to La Liga clubs. So yeah, maybe loan him to the Championship or you get him a good Premier League move. Whereas Ahmad's already had that Sunderland move, hasn't he? He did really well at Sunderland. Obviously, he was on loan at Rangers, which I don't think was as successful. But yeah, I think Ahmad deserves to get a run in the team. He's still 21. He's only got 2 years left on his deal as well, Ahmad. So it's like, these are the kind of players that you need to try and give a bit of an opportunity. And if they're going to be part of the team going forward, you give them a new contract and then you kind of move on from it. Joshua says we signed Pellistri from a Uruguayan club called Penarol for 9 million. That's not bad, is it? 9 million. Those are the kind of deals that I like. When that's kind of the type of deals that teams like Brighton do. And Pellistri looks like a quality player. He really, really does. I mean, he starts for Uruguay every single game. Like, he definitely is a good player. He's a real talent. But is he going to get any game time ahead of Anthony? Probably not, to be honest. So it's a little bit disappointed. Al says, are you disappointed that Hojlund has scored 0 Premier League goals? Obviously, when you read it like that, it's disappointing. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm happy that Hojlund scored no goals, because that would be stupid, wouldn't it? But am I disappointed? I think at the beginning of the season, I said I think he'll get between 10 and 15 goals. I think that was my expectation. I can't remember whether that was in the Premier League or in all competitions. I think I said 10 or 15 goals in the Premier League was my expectation for this season. Now, he can still do that. We've still got I think we've played 17 matches, so we've still got 21 games left. He still can get 10 or 15 goals, in my opinion. And the thing is, right, I'll say this. The only chance that Hojlund has had where he should have scored was against Liverpool on Sunday. That was a chance that he should have scored. But that is the only one that I can remember the whole season, genuinely. So I'll say this: if he was getting 2 or 3 opportunities a game and he was missing them, I would say that I was really worried. Okay, but he's not. I genuinely think he's probably had like 1 or 2 goal-scoring opportunities since he's been at Manchester United in the Premier League that he's missed, or the goalkeeper saved, or whatever you want to call it. So, disappointed, I guess so, but am I surprised? Not really. We don't create opportunities. I think once opportunities start coming, he will take them. Some strikers get 2, 3 opportunities a game and might score 1 or score none. He's getting 1 every 5 games. So I guess arguably he needs to score that one chance every 5 games, doesn't he? But let me know in the comment section, guys. Are you worried about Hojlund? I'll say this, that I always thought that Hojlund on his own was never going to be good enough. That we needed someone like a Kane, we needed someone like an Osimhen. Like, we needed a world-class striker. And for me, Hojlund is not a world-class striker at the moment. He's a talent. He could become a world-class striker. But at this moment in time, he's not world-class. Like, it's impossible to call him world-class. So, yeah, I think maybe people's expectations were too high of him. He's 20 years of age. He scored 9 goals in the Italian league last year. Like, I don't really know what people expected. It's not like you've just signed an Osimhen or a Harry Kane and you're expecting 30 goals in a season. You know, it's like best case scenario. I think he was probably going to get 10 to 15, and that was probably best case scenario. But let me know in the comment section. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. I will be back live at 6:30. Fred says, how do you gift memberships? I can't do it from a phone, only super chats. I don't know, mate, to be honest. It's really weird. It used to give me an option to gift memberships. And it seems to have just... I don't know. It's weird. Let me know in the comment section, guys. Is it showing you the option to join the members club or to gift memberships? Because for me, it's just completely disappeared. I don't know I haven't changed anything at my end, so I don't really know. Let me just see if I can have a look quickly whilst we're live. Memberships. I mean, people are still joining the members club. I can see it here. But yeah, it's really weird. All right, I'm just going to drop a link in the chat now. Let me see if this works. That's the link to join the members club. Yeah, it used to give me the option to gift memberships, but it seems to have disappeared. So I don't know. Joel says it needs to be from a web browser. Okay, yeah, maybe try from a web browser. Let me see if I can do it on my web browser. Somebody says you can press the $sign. Yeah, when I click on the $sign myself, it just says super sticker or super chat. It doesn't say gift memberships. It used to allow me to do that. Let me have a look if I can do it on another account that I'm logged in on. Oh yeah, so if you go on your web browser, this is on a different account that I've got. It says membership gifting. Yeah, so if you go on your web browser, it says super stickers, super chat, membership, or membership gifting. So you should be able to do it, but it needs to be on a web browser for some reason. So I need to work out how to do it on mine. But yeah, I've just Googled it, and that's how you do it, apparently. You go on your web browser, and then it will work. Right, but I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. I will be back about 6:30 p.m. today. I hope everyone has a lovely day. If anything breaks, obviously we will go live. There is a small chance that Jim Ratcliffe's going to be announced this week, so if that happens, we'll obviously go live. Please do make sure to smash a like on the video before you go. Please do subscribe if you're new. Have a lovely day, everybody, and I'll speak to you all a bit later.